Hear me good?
Hearing you great. 3, 2, 1. What's happening, guys? This is Logan Robinson. We are live on a Monday evening. This time a little bit different. It's not a Wednesday. This is not a Hear the Spears show presented by NoelGameDay.com. This is, though, Calculated Chaos with Brian Stork, the first episode and debut of this series that we'll be doing all throughout the offseason, heading into the 2023 football season. With me this evening is 2013 national champion, Remington Award winner for the best center in college football, and 2014 Super Bowl winner, Brian Stork. Brian, we've been working on this for a couple months, including an additional 30 minutes before we went live. We're about 30 minutes late, but happy to have you and get this thing kicking, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to be on here. Sorry about that. Murphy's Law of technology. Obviously, what can go wrong will go wrong, but we're working through it. Ready to go. I'm really excited to be on here and talk about my beloved Noles. It's been an exciting time. Recently a new dad, so I'm a stay-at-home dad now. My wife is in Johnson City, so I moved there. Kind of out of the coaching realm, so I've been sitting around raising a child, watching a lot of film. Really excited about this and just diving into what's going on at Florida State and just trying to catch up and know the guys. And it's a really cool thing to watch with Mike Norvell and Coach Atkins. Obviously, I'm more of an offensive guy, so I focus more on that side, but they're doing the right things. Obviously, everybody talks about culture. Nobody really knows what they're talking about with culture unless you've just been a part of it. But it looks like they're doing the right things, and you see guys on the sideline, body language. There's a lot of good things, a lot of little details that you probably won't see, but that's why I'm here to show you. Just like this play right here, starting with one of the first plays. It's just amazing what they do with all the personnel and all their guys, the recruits. They recruit all over. They got transfers, and they've obviously done their homework with a lot of the guys they've got because a lot of transfers usually don't work out. I know from experience. I've had some good ones, some bad ones, but you can tell they've done their homework, and they definitely use their connections they have from previous recruiting stops wherever they were, like in Memphis or whether it's a coach that was out in California. They found a lot of good dudes, and they did their homework. So let's get started. I'll quit rambling.
No, I think it's great. And I want to let people know, too, like I said, we'll be doing this throughout the offseason. We'll go into the season 2, and this will be a film-related show. So if you guys like going in and getting a deep dive into what is going on during these games, Brian, if you don't follow him on Twitter already, make sure you guys go over there and give him a follow. He's giving you guys a lot of deep dive information on these plays all throughout the games. And 2, still learning a little bit of this roster, too. This will be our first episode, so it'll be a process now with spring coming up also. We've got some recruits to talk about that we'll be bringing onto Calculated Chaos all throughout the offseason as we get you guys prepared for what should be, like Brian was talking about, should be a pretty fun 2023 season with what Mike Norvell has been able to do recruiting-wise, transfer-wise, and it's starting to show quickly onto the field, which we'll be getting into now. So what we're going to be doing for the first episode is go back and look back at Florida State versus Oklahoma and that Cheez-It Bowl where Florida State came away with the win. It was a thriller. It wasn't expected to be a close one. I don't think FSU fans were in the first place thinking it to be this, but ended up being a close one all the way to the end with Ryan Fitzgerald getting the game-winning field goal. But Brian has put together his top clips from the game that he'll be going through. And one thing I do like about live streams, you guys can comment in here. I'll be feeding some questions over to Brian as he's giving us some really good analysis on what's going on with these plays. So make sure if you have any questions, I'm also going to be learning on my side of things. I played football in high school. That was it. Brian is tweeting things that I don't even know what the hell he's even saying. So I'm going to be asking Brian to maybe give us the easy explanation on a few things that he's telling us. So make sure you drop some comments. And if you have anything for Brian, make sure you let us know and I'll bring it over to his attention. But let's get started, Brian. We've been looking forward to this for a couple months. So let's go and get this thing cranking.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm trying to keep it simple here. Some of my coaching friends might just cringe because of how simple it's going to be. But my whole job here and the way, I'm going to take pride in is connecting the fans to actually what's going on so they can be more tuned in the game and see in a different perspective. So right here, what we call 21 personnel. As far as personnel, we're talking about the guys that are in the game. If you check this out, they have a tight end. There's a Y. All right, and there's 2 running backs. So right there, 2 running backs, 1 tight end. They call that 21 personnel. And you got your 2 receivers right here and right here. So 21 personnel. But this is a really good formation that not many people would understand, but a term called FIB means formation in the boundary. Right now, you'll see the strength and the passing formation in the boundary. Then you got your split backs right here. This is a good formation. You do a lot of different things, outside zone, inside zone. And right here, you'll see that I call it the umbrella. You'll see the umbrella in the backfield. This is what we call quarters, because right here, he's going to have a fourth of the field, fourth of the field, fourth of the field, fourth of the field. So that's why you ever hear a football coach say quarters. That's why they're splitting the deep backfield into quarters, into fourths, if you will.
So they're
all right.
those,
And right
those
here,
defensive
how you
backs
know
are
it's
just
quarters.
sharing it.
Do what?
I was going to say, so those defensive backs are practically just sharing that their sides of the field in little increments.
Correct. Yeah, split up. So when you hear cover 2, you want to think like halves. You hear cover 3, split it into thirds. So right here, what they're going to do, they're going to motion out the running back right here. So you're going to know they're all going to bump. So as these guys all have their force in the backfield, he's going to have the flat. He's going to have the hook curl. He's got the hook curl. And if they drop 8 right here, so there's 4, 5, 6, 7, and you got 8. If he drops, that's the 8th man who'll have the flat. If he rushes, he'll have the curl to the flat, and he'll have a 4th. Guys, I'm a little slow figuring all this stuff out with the technology. Former lineman, crooked hands. Obviously did a lot of ass kicking back in the day, but still figuring this all out, so bear with me. All right, so let's watch this here. Oh, let's skip forward.
Hey, okay.
Sorry about that. So right here, we see him motioning out. And you'll see the linebacker out here, the nickel Sam, right here, motion out. You know it's zone coverage. They move over. They got to adjust because now there's 2 eligibles over here to the field.
That looks like that's Trey in the backfield moving. Or that's
so right here, you see that they dropped 8. You see 4 deep and you see 4 underneath. So a lot of coaches will call this 44. But what I want to look at, what we're doing right here, they're essentially trying to run a mesh. What mesh means is you got 2 guys, 2 cross routes. So right here, if you look, if I'm Johnny Wilson right here, I'm probably going to – if I got to get all the way across the ball, right, I got to run a drag. I'm probably going to cheat my split in just a hair more. So I'm going to nitpick at some little things that I've been taught over the years just to help yourself out as a player. Obviously, a transfer from Arizona State, the more he sticks around, I think the better he's going to get. I hope he's a guy that stays around. I think he's got another 2 years or 3 years. Hey, man, stick around. Love the hell out of it. He's like, what, 6'7", 235? Unbelievable. Yep. I mean, he's a couple biscuits and gravy away from being a tight end, but love what he can do. A lot of personnel mismatches. Then right here, we got Marquise and Douglas, basically clearing it out, hooking it up. And then right here, what's his 80 again? What's his
Pokey?
name?
Yep, Pokey.
Yeah,
top.
Sorry about that. Hokey crossing up underneath here. All right. And right here, you got motion out. He's going to basically run a flat to a rail and go clear it out. And the good thing is you got Jordan Travis. By the way, his brother was the baseball player at Florida State when I was around, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that dude was
Devin.
a guy, man. He was a guy. Everybody talked about him. Hey, you got to see this kid play. But, hey, glad we got his brother, and it's always good to be no-blooded because when you go out there on game day, it just means more. I'm obviously a first-generation, though. If anybody's a fan of my family, I like Florida Gators, but, hey, go Florida State here. But I got a little off subject there.
I was going to say, well, Brian, it's funny you say a couple more biscuits and gravy for Johnny Wilson, Marquise, and his nickname is Biscuits. So he's got a couple more biscuits ahead of Johnny, though.
Perfect. He reminds me of Kelvin a little bit when I played, just a bigger dude. And I think even Kelvin went to go try out at tight end and all that. But
yep,
big guy. But right here, I'm crossing over the ball. The throw's right there to him. You can see it right there. It's got to happen now because if not, because right here you see the running back that was in the backfield. He cleared it out. Mm-hmm. So that was good by him. But the throw's got to happen. We got decent protection by the line, but eventually Jordan Travis, he gets flushed out of the pocket. But the good thing is he can run. You got to account for that on defense. And that's what Oklahoma at times, they let him slip. That's why they drop 8. So right here, you see the offensive line. They rush 3. There's no excuse. I was a former offensive line coach last year at the University of the Cumberlands. There's no excuse if you're getting a 3-man rush, you're getting a sack, you got problems. Happened a lot. Probably gave me a few gray hairs, but it is what it is. So if you look at this protection, obviously offensive lineman, so I'm going to talk a lot about how protections work. If it's a 5-man protection, because you got your motion guy out here, and you got him crossing, you got him railing, right? Mm. So if they're just going to rush 8 and drop these guys up underneath and expand them, basically you got to go what we call 2 mics middle, and everybody's literally 5 for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you set out. If he drops, he expands out. Right here, center's going to get back even with his guards. Take the 0 nose. And right here, as we're setting it right guard, he drops. He's going to expand his eyes back out and help the right tackle. I know it's a lot of yellow up there, but let's go ahead and check it out. That's a good job by Dimitri Emanuel. I know he came with Coach Atkins from UNC Charlotte. It's a good job helping the center out. I played with Trey Jackson and Josue Matias, David Spurlock, a lot of other guards as well. But they cover you up. They make you look good at center if they help you out in the pocket.
Yeah, Dimitri
right
had a
here,
great.
We're just in the pocket too long. We got to get out and we got to get a first down. Why not, right?
Yep. I was gonna say Dimitri had a great season. He was probably the most consistent in camp when I was watching him. And right now, Florida State's hoping to have him back for next season. But the way that you were just saying helps out the center quite a bit. Maurice Smith, looking at him, and you could probably say straight up, Brian, he's more of an undersized, maybe center that FSU fans and maybe analysts look at him and maybe doesn't have the size, but still is able to make his blocks.
You talking about Maurice Smith? Maurice Smith, right?
Smith, veteran. Yep, Marita. Yep.
Yeah, so he went to Miami Central, and a lot of people say, "Oh, you want to recruit all your O-linemen from the Midwest." There's no question. Like a lot of teams make their living on those guys. However, there's some dudes down there in Miami. You just got to go. You got to know the right people, and they got to check out. A lot of people will tell you never know what you're going to get from certain areas of the country. That is one of them, unfortunately. But there's a lot of good players that came from Miami. You just got to do your research and make sure they're the hungry person that comes from Miami that works their ass off and tries to make a better life for themselves. So good for him. And he's a younger guy as well, and he's got a lot of experience, correct? I believe he played the last few years.
Yep.
Here and
last
there.
2
He's
years.
played some guard as well when he first got there.
Yeah, and Maurice actually going back to Jacksonville when we were there for practice, Maurice went down with a leg injury, and this was just a couple of weeks before the season opener at home and then before, of course, facing LSU. And at that point, everybody on the beat looked at one another and was like, oh, my goodness, this season might be in some serious trouble. But Maurice was able to fight through that and recover really well and come in and play in a big time game. So he's got some real fight in him, and he's a really big leader too, watching him at practice. So he's kind of the glue to that offensive line.
So just talking about him real quick, I happened to look at the screen. I looked down the way he's holding the ball. So there's different ways to hold the ball at center. There's one, how you throw it. Most quarterbacks prefer that, especially the nitpicky ones. Not saying I've ever worked for one, but
who would that be? Who would that
retired
be?
this year?
Tom Brady, maybe?
Good old Tom Brady. Oh, he's very nitpicky. He likes a good spiral, likes the laces if he's under center. But right here, the way he's doing it, this center, Maurice, he's got the top of the ball, the cone of it, and he's just flicking his wrist back there. And believe it or not, it's an easy way to teach somebody that doesn't know how to snap very well, or it's kind of foreign to them and need them to learn quick. That's a great way to do it. I did have a center at University of Cumberland's, Micah Gibson. When I got there in the spring, he was snapping like that. I'm like, no, you got to fix that. So over the summer, he fixed it. But it takes a lot of reps on your own. It takes thousands of reps to learn how to snap. And hopefully he'll learn how to do that, because if he wants to go play the next level, you're going to have to learn how to snap it the normal way, and have that perfect spiral, right to the belly button. I know it's a long rant on a perfect snap, but it's all about the details.
Yep.
Let's run this play right here. So they're in empty. They just rip it right up the field to Wilson. It was a great play by him. And just if you see the leverage right here, he gets by him. There's a lot of space. Obviously the backer's here. You got a backer hanging here. But as he's working this, we call this like a hash read. He's working vertical on his seventh step based on this guy's leverage. All right, either he's going to snap it flat, or if this guy's over here, if it ends up being, one high, he'll keep it high. But we're looking at cover 2 look over here. So why not snap it on that seventh step? And there's going to be a nice throwing lane for Jordan Travis. We're looking at protection. I want to back that up a second.
Go ahead. I was going to say there's a few comments in here. I'll bring
3-man rush again. You got a few comments, you said?
Yeah, there's a comment on here from Khalil on YouTube saying, I think Oklahoma ran outside when 35 was in the game, and that's also why they scrambled outside a bunch. Injured interior defensive line made it difficult on our linebackers, similar to the Florida game.
Gotcha.
So bringing up a few things there.
Awesome. So this protection right here, it's just a 5-man protection. Obviously, we're in empty. When I say empty, that means there's no running back in the backfield, so everybody knows what's going on. That as far as the defense, it's either going to be a zero check, or you got, essentially everybody matches up and you got safeties over the top, which might be the case here. If you have a 5-man protection, you just got to make sure you get the proper man distribution. So I think they just went 2 mics in the middle, essentially him and him. And when I call sort, they're literally looking at sort 1, 2 to 3. So as soon as 1 drops, the right guard right here is going to get his eyes out to 2. As he's sorting back square, he is also together in unison, looking at 1 to 2 to 3 in that order. As he declares to that B gap or across the guard's face, he now can work out to number 3 in case he would come if 1 drops. And then obviously once 1 drops, guess what these guys become? They just become 1 and 2. So their assignments are just basically get 1 and 2 inside out, MDM, most dangerous man. That's what like a sort call means. So when you watch NFL games and you hear that pop up on the microphone, because obviously they got microphones on the back of the pads, that's what they're talking about. Then over here to the left, it's the same thing. If they want mics over here and here, his eyes can now just look out and look 1 to 2 to anything else, 3 outside. Now, once they declare where they're going, and he goes way outside and he knows he's good, now Gibbons can bang back in, and now you got 2 on 1. These 2 work together as these backers drop, and now you got 2 on 1. So 2 on 1, 2 on 1, 1 on 1. That's what you call man distribution, and that cleans everything up, and that makes, essentially the tackles, you're responsible for the width of the pocket. And right here, the center and the guards, you got the depth of the pocket. So right here, you can see with this just nasty yellow all over the screen, that's the pocket, the depth and the width.
Will Reed says, long rants about belly button snaps are why I'm here, Brian.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. You like me don't probably have much to do right now either. That's awesome. Good for you, man. Crazy. The older you get, the more shit you find in that damn belly button too. But I don't want to get in a discussion about that for too long.
A little scary. Yeah, that's a little scary. Let me drink a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that, what about Johnny Wilson, man? He can hold on, and that's one thing we didn't really think about him as much in coming to Florida State. He's got the length and he can go up for the ball, but he can usually stay on his feet for a good long while, and he's got some speed with the size that he has, and you could see just how physical he is. He works like a tight end, and that's why Jordan Travis felt really comfortable going to him, dumping off. It kind of felt like in the same way, I mean, this was a different player, different body, but how Jameis would go to O'Leary. He felt comfortable, and he could dump things off to him, definitely because he didn't have gloves on either. So
O'Leary just understood football. Like Coach Trigger used to joke around and say, yeah, he's got dick and balls for a brain. So just understand what you're working with there. But, it's an expression. Like he's a dude. He's out there to play ball. Like he's not here for school. He's just here to play ball, ride motorcycles, walk away from crashes. And, he's like one of those legends you hear about, but it was cool because I got to play with him because he's awesome. He can stay up till break of dawn drinking beer. And that's how we were back in the day. But obviously growing up, we all got kids now. Mm-hmm. Can't really do that as much anymore. But what a legend. You got me on a rant now about that.
The rants are what the people are also here for. I was going to say, I don't know what it's going to take to get Nick O'Leary on here, though. I think we talked about it in one of our production meetings a couple of weeks ago, and it's going to take a few packages sent.
I haven't mentioned anything to him yet, but he knows. I think he knows. He keeps up with people. He just doesn't act like it, but he keeps up. I think he knows. So he knows eventually one day that phone call's coming.
Good.
Try not to be a guy you just keep calling, and it's just when you need something. But I'm going to definitely have to call him and figure that out.
Oh yeah,
John Pickens, man, appreciate you, brother. I'm loving this too.
Yep, this is great stuff.
Hell yeah, go Knowles, go Jesus, man.
And Tom is on here too. He's always one of our usual viewers on the show. Brian, do you want to go into coaching? Well,
yeah, I've been in coaching, so I'm out right now. So I met my wife at ETSU when I was with Randy Sanders. I was there for 3 seasons, 2019, 2020, 21. And we have a good season. Randy retires, and my wife still stayed at ETSU. She's in the athletics department as well, number 2 in charge with administration. And so I went to the University of the Cumberlands in Kentucky in Williamsburg because it was really close. It was about 2 hours, 50 minutes. If I take the scenic route, about 3 hours, 5 minutes, through the Cumberland Gap, really beautiful. But we just had a kid December 31st, around 9:41. So got the tax break, and I had to make a decision and respectfully resign from being at the Cumberlands. Love that place. It was awesome. Some of the best administrators I've ever been around. Everybody loves you there, treat you well. But so I'm back in Johnson City. I'm help raise my daughter, stay at home dad. Giving this a go, really enjoying it. Have a lot of time in my hands as well to watch a lot of film, and want to thank my wife too for letting me do this. And she's been really supportive. And a lot of wives could be like, "No, you're not going to make any money right away. It's not six figures," but she's not like that. She wants to see me happy, just like I want to see her happy. So you young fellas out there, if you want to get married, man, make sure it's the right woman that wants you to be happy and will support you no matter what. So there's that rant as well.
Good. And she's also hearing you in the background, right? She knows that you're saying really good things about her, so that gives you the extra brownie points.
Got to. I'm all about.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. So this one, who's in the backfield here? I want to say that's Trayshawn. Trayshawn was the only back in this game, at least in my opinion. You know, Trey Benson had been doing his thing for the last few months, but Treshaun Ward actually ended up being the best back.
He runs hard, man.
Yeah, he does. And he did the same thing during the LSU game to kick off that season, that second game of the year. Trayshawn ended up just being able to be the only back going north, I felt like.
You know why, right?
Why is that?
You know why he's really good? Well, one, he went out to Oregon and played, right? He was a transfer from there.
Yep.
So was he with Cristobal and them?
What are you talking about, Trey? Yeah, Trey Benson. Trey Benson was the one that, he transferred. He had the leg injury. There was a lot of concerns about why.
Oh, you're talking about Trayshawn. My bad. He's from Plant City. That's why, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's wearing number 8.
Easy place to play.
Yeah, he's wearing number 8, and we know another FSU. You had some time with him with Devontae Freeman, obviously, but I think that number 8 helped.
Dude, what a great back! My God,
Devontae Freeman gets overlooked. I mean, there was 3. Well, then you add in Los too. I mean, Florida State had a backfield.
Yeah, dude, if you weren't careful with Los, he would run your ass over. If it was like goal line or whatever, you better get your ass down low and you better like move forward, because if not, you're going to get the shit knocked out of you. And it actually happened. I think we played Maryland, and he knocked the shit out of me. I was knocked the hell out, and I woke up, and we're in the end zone, and I see all the garnet paint because I'm laying in the end zone, and we scored. And after that, I snapped a couple balls over James's head. I thought he said set hut, like on some random I don't even know what it was, but hell of a day right there. One of those noon games where not shit goes right for you and you get the shit knocked out of you early.
Well, you remember there was.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You expedited my process to getting into coaching and eventually meeting my wife. So that's how you got to look at things and be positive, especially when you had a rough go at things. But back to football right here. I'll shut the hell up. This is a really good scheme right here. It's a pin and pull scheme. And we don't even get to the linebacker right here, but just the way it pulls them. So you'll see, you get the will linebacker mugged up. Mugs up from down here. And it's a good job because we got 3 guys. You got the tight end, tackle, guard, and then you got the center, guard, tackle, right? So that's 6 dudes. The tight end, he works out. Douglas works out on him. I believe this is an outside shoulder technique on the left guard. We call it a 3 technique. The tackle is going to block down on him. With this pull by Gibbons coming around, this linebacker is going to see that. So he's going to expand out over here. He's going to go. He never gets out there, but the fact is that he expands with him as he's pulling. He thinks, oh, shit, as he's coming down here, he ends up expanding out. And that's why he's able to bang it up in there and get the hole. All right. But now here at the center spot, we work to the backside mic, and they do a good job of understanding the hat count. Now, you got 6 guys in the box, right? Here's your 7th defender. Here's your 8th defender. So these guys right here, wherever they're at, like running back, that's your job. Make him miss. You're on scholarship. Make him miss. And the same thing in the NFL. Like you're on payroll.
Damn.
Watch it again. As you see, Gibbons pulling around, he expands out. And then as we're down here on this 3 technique, he expands out. Like when you block down on that 3 technique at the tackle, you want your hat on the outside shoulder via the neck. He expands out a little bit. But it's a good job by Ward finding his way up in here, right through the hole and obviously getting the first down. It's good stuff.
He hit it hard, man.
He's a downhill hardcore runner. Right here, watch the backside. Maurice Smith does a good job of having some what I call common sense. I learned that from Coach Sanders. Obviously, Florida State OC for a while, especially when I was there his first year. Great dude, by the way. How we hit it off, he ended up sitting in the back of the bus with the rest of the O-linemen. We kind of ran it back there on Fridays when we go to our team movies and then go to team meals. And this is back when he dipped. And we would sit back there and just pack a couple Copenhagens and talk about fishing, random stuff. He'd tell you the best jigs there are for this time of year. Learn about outer space as time went on at ETSU. So a lot of good relationships here from Florida State. And again, sorry for the ramble, but got to share that stuff. There's a lot of good people out here that went to Florida State. But as you can see, the backside right here gets sealed up. He gets the mic. We get the backside nose guard. And right here we get the end. And the good thing about him is you got to worry about him, right? So as he's coming down, he's got to at least play this just in case he decides to keep it and run it. That's the whole world now. You got the RPOs, the run pass option, and then you got the zone reads and the zone keeps that everybody's got to worry about. And then you got to worry about guys like him running it.
Man,
that's a great run by Ward here, getting themselves right there in the low red zone. All right, so I'm a special teams nerd. I think special teams matters. Last night you saw in the Super Bowl, I forget his name, but the punt return for Kansas City ends up pinning it back all the way around, getting a lot of good yardage right there.
Yeah,
it was incredible. And that kind of like got a little bit of momentum going. So if you get like a blocked field goal kick, a blocked punt, like that's a big thing. That's crucial. And statistically, I don't know what it was. We used to hear crazy stats in New England. It was like 80 something or 90 something percent. If you get a blocked punt or field goal, like if you're on the opposite side of that, you're gonna lose. So don't want to lose. Obviously, being around there, you don't want to lose at all. So
no,
take a
and
sip,
take a sip of that. I was gonna say Mike Norvell, he'd give you a firm handshake on that. Special teams is one of the first things he brought up in his opening press conference whenever he arrived in Tallahassee. Special teams is a pivotal part in what Florida State, like Mike Norvell and the staff want to do here, and they practice this a ton. We are there, and
drills, you've got to put time in it. It's so huge.
Yep, and the media guys, shout out to Mike Norvell and them. We get to be out there and watch these practices, and allows us to give really good, coverage for you guys. But we spend a good, almost close to an hour, it feels like, watching special teams. So it's a little bit boring during this time. We're on our laptops going through a few things, getting some stuff prepped for the press conference right after the practices. But they do practice a ton of special teams, and Mike would agree with you 110%.
Shit, dude, take me with you, man. Give me some credentials, or maybe I can come visit or something.
I'm pretty sure you don't even need I don't think you need a credential. I think you could just walk right in. I don't think if on my end I do need a credential. I just break the ring.
I be that entitled guy though, because like I remember being at Florida State and like there were some good dudes, no question, but like you'd see some that would just come all the time. Like there's nothing wrong with that. That's awesome, if you especially live local. But you just never wanted to be that guy and just impose and be in the way, because you know what it's like to be on the other side and have people in the way. Not saying like people are in the way, but it happens.
Yep, I feel you.
So there go my ramble. So this is a really cool thing that not many people know. I actually posted this on Twitter sometime back in January, just getting started, just dabbling with all this film and learning how to use a computer. Football coaching has helped, but this has been definitely a learning experience. Thank God, Logan. You know what you're doing. So right here, you got to look at they end up going to 4th and goal. There was a couple bad plays. The O-line, they just got blown up. I didn't want to show them, getting kicked around a little bit. So I'm here to make Florida State look good, not look bad. There's going to be a few things I show, but so we have to kick the field goal, and we're on the hash. And just look at the angle of the kick. Look where the uprights are. That's kind of over there. And where the ball is going to be placed, it's going to be right here. So it's got to go that way. It's no longer a field goal. It's like between the hashes, like right here where it'd be in the middle, you got to kick straight. This is at more of an angle. So what they do is, if you can see, there's a lot of dudes over here and there's not many dudes over there. But there's a longer edge. This is the long snapper right here. He's a center, long snapper, whatever. You got a guard, and you got a tight end, and then you got a wing back. He has an eligible number. What I mean by eligible, anything from 1 to 49, anything from it would be 80 to, well, in college, 99. And obviously in the NFL, you can declare yourself eligible. Right here, what they did was they took an extra tackle and they put him over here. It used to be a tackle over here, but he came, put himself there, because you got the guard, tackle, extra tackle, and then right here, is it number 70? He's a backup. I forget his name. My apologies, dude, if you're watching this. I'm a real asshole, I guess. But Slowly but surely, I'll learn your name. But he's in the tight end spot, but he's got an ineligible number because it's 70. That's between 50 and 79. And then right here, 45, he's eligible as well. So if anything happens wrong or like, you got a bad snap, he'll probably be in the flat or just really get the hell open. And if you got eligible here and something goes wrong, they call it a fire call. Kind of know where the sticks are. If it's 4th and goal, okay, you're thinking the end zone. If you're in the open field, you got to know where the sticks are to get the first down. But as close as he is, I used to tell the tight ends because when I coached them at ETSU, learned a lot from Coach Sanders. You want to go half the distance in the end zone to the back pylon. And then right here, you want to just really get 2 to 3 yards on your flat. You don't want to get in the way and get too deep to where you're clouding this up and there's nobody to hit, especially because we got another ineligible. Now, if he was eligible, he'd be half the distance to the back pylon, then you'd have your flat right here. I know that's a long thing, but right here, like you'll see the path of the ball is going to go over here. So that's why this tackle's over, so you got more of a longer edge to kick it through. Usually it's somewhere in here, right? So if it's like the -13, -14, and you're on the actual hash, there's a term called Omaha right, Omaha left. That tells, hey, that backside tackle, if it's Omaha right and you're the left tackle, you need to go to the right. If it's on the right hash and you're in the minus or inside the +15, you just got to go Omaha left, and then the right tackle you go over. And now you're in the extra spot. And then if you're the tight end to that side, you got to move out. Now, what everybody's going to do blocking-wise, everybody's going to get their back foot down, 6-inch step, spike it in, hit low to high. We used to have the term called rocket up your ass. So as soon as you get that back foot down, you want to stick it, have your inside of your foot stick in the ground with your cleat, and then you rise up with like you have a rocket up your ass. And the same thing here with this extra tackle. He does the same thing. If you're in a tight end spot, you got to pick and hinge. So usually he has to pick the D to E gap. So you got A, B, C, D, E. Usually he has to pick the C to D gap. But right here, you got all these gaps over here. You got A, B, and C. So right here, if this extra the tight end that's on the nub side and the unbalanced side, if you will, he's got to go pick and hinge flat, hinge out. And this guy right here, these wing backs, they got to step flat, but they got to leave their back knee behind just in case somebody tries to squirt between that tight end and that wing back. Same thing here. Go back to the LSU game this year, right? What happened when they blocked the field goal? Like this tight end, right, this wing back just stepped out, and then this tight end, he didn't pick and hinge. He just picked down there flat, so it was easy to block it. That wasn't because, Florida State, no doubt, great, but that wasn't because they did anything really great. That's just because somebody didn't execute the proper technique. And that's what big games come down to. It's just, executing those little things. That's a long spiel on field goal. And obviously it's good there, 4th and goal. Clean snap, clean hold, clean kick. And I've heard too, like wherever that plant foot is, if you're the kicker, that's where the ball's going to go. As soon as you plant it and it's pointed that way, the ball's going there.
You felt pretty confident back in your day with Aguayo.
I had longer was Dustin Hopkins.
Well, yeah. You went on a stretch of having some really damn good kickers in your time, and still, looking at
even our walk-ons were good. Our walk-ons were all good. Like they should have been. I think we had a few transfer out, but like they should have been D1 somewhere. Hell, we would have taken him at ETSU. By the way, Tyler, he was at ETSU. He went to Godby High School. And we had him at ETSU, and that was the connection. He used to come to the camps all the time when Randy and them were there at Florida State. But hell of a kid, set school records at ETSU, but he's now at Florida State now. So I'm happy for him. I'm excited. It's always good.
He's a Childs football alum too. Had him. He was a youngin though when I was playing.
Was it Childs or Godby?
Unless he transferred to Godby. I know he was at Childs initially.
I think everyone went to Godby because it was right down the road from campus.
That's about all we had there at Childs were kickers, I'll be honest. Although our senior year, we did give Godby some trouble, and we went to the playoffs for the first time, beating Lincoln, so that was a good one. But other than that, it usually was either soccer, baseball, softball, and then maybe a kicker from the football side of things. But yeah, it will raise some good competition for Ryan Fitzgerald, who just kicked that field goal, because competition is always better. That. But having that, at least on the kicking side, where Florida State was hurt quite a few times this last season, just the inconsistency hurt them. But having someone on your heels a little bit will be good for them in this starting this spring.
What's good during practice too is in my last stop, I learned this from the head coach, Shannon Housekeeper. Put the pressure on, gather the team up in a period of practice for a couple minutes. Like, all right, we got to make this field goal. The score is this, and that to win the game here. Just put them in like awkward, tough situations and have people, all around them yelling, screaming. I don't know if Florida State does that, but I don't know why you wouldn't, especially in this day and age, because a lot of kids are scared to compete. And you'll see that a lot when you recruit kids, and a little adversity, like, oh shit, but like if you don't practice it in practice, how the fuck can you do it in the game? And like that's what we learned from Jimbo back in the day. Excuse my F-bomb, but it's got to be 4th and 1 all day long, in your mind. And is that intense? Yes, but I'm sorry, I'm trying to fucking win national championship. If I'm those guys.
Exactly, 100%. And that's what they'll do at practice now. Mike is actually the one individually getting up close to Fitzgerald whenever he's going to make these kicks was pretty interesting. And 2, he also mixed up Fitzgerald did throughout, I believe, in the middle of the season there. He was going with a different kicking motion, and I don't know the name of it right now, but he switched that and things got a lot better for him. So they just kind of switch things up, and it's also down to mentality, like you were saying. It's always just goes.
Did he go to the right guru? There's a lot of kicking gurus out there that claim they know what they're doing. I worked with one ETSU, Doug Blevins. He actually does know what he's doing, and he has muscular dystrophy, and he's in a chair, and he can see stuff. And like he coached Tyler throughout his career at ETSU, and he was a huge help to our special teams. So like ever since then, he was also with the Dolphins and the Patriots at one point, and the Vikings back in the 90s. But ever since that, I was just like, you never judge a book by its cover kind of thing.
Nope.
If somebody's got an eye for the game, especially in special teams, like that's your niche, take advantage of it. But back to offense and defensive football. Talking a little defense. I love what we do on defense. It's a 4-down front. What I mean by that, you got 4D linemen. They stand up some. Sometimes they don't. Obviously, Jared Verse, really freaking good. Unbelievable. Yeah. I think, you got some good players. And then obviously you got, was it Jamie Robinson?
Yep, Jamie.
Yeah, he just went to the Senior Bowl, correct?
He did. Had a great week. Just had him on our show too.
Freaking website's got his year wrong, man. What the hell?
Yeah, he had he did have another year of eligibility. The whole COVID thing switches a lot of things up for these guys.
Oh, they let him in the Senior Bowl
in college
because of that now.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So
that's
he
why
went to
what
that.
is going on? All right.
Yeah.
Well, my bad.
Veteran guy. I think he could have gone this last year, but with NIL, they were able to keep him in store for another season at FSU. But veteran guy, I think the best part about him is just assignments. It feels like now that you have some game film that we'll be going through, you can tell me. But just a guy that knows his assignments and is a really good tackler, kind of saves touchdowns here and there.
Yeah, and I don't want to I just noticed he was in the Senior Bowl. Everybody's like, yeah, he had a great week. He did, but excuse me. He's got to work on his form tackling. Like you can tell, like form tackling is not a thing like it used to be. I probably sound like an old crusty coach right now, but like you can tell he needs to still work on it just a little bit. He's a hell of a ball player. He's physical. Like I got a clip of him causing a fumble here later on. But I just hope that he takes his form tackling serious because in the NFL, it's a car wreck every play. And you can't just duck your head and just wrap your arms around things. You got to run your feet through. And obviously, it helps you stay safe. But right here, you'll see a look as I'm getting on this. It looks like you got 2 safeties right here, too high. What they do is on defense, they play a 4-down front. They like to disguise the coverages, just disguise where they're fitting that extra defender down in the box. So you see right here in the box, when I say that's between the tackles over here, and you got the 4-down and then the backers. And right here, I see that as a 6-man box. But what can happen is they can roll these guys down in the box, now going from 6 to 7 guys in the box or 8. So right here, what they're going to do is they're going to start out 2 high and roll to 1 high and fit down here, gap here. He's got this A gap. He'll have that B gap. All they're doing is just trading gaps. That's a beautiful thing about running outside zone, inside zone. As offensive linemen, is like they do all this twist and blitz and everybody exchanges gaps. But guess what? If we just stay on our tracks, we can pick it up. But like right here, is that Akeem Dent, number 27?
Yes, it is.
I know he's originally from Pahokee. He played at Palm Beach Central. I'm a Vero Beach guy, so they played in our district. tough place to play, man. I'll tell you that, especially being a kid from Vero Beach. Definitely a little different. But I'm just saying this is pretty courageous for him just to come down the box and just stick his face in the fan and wrap up. Like, I'm looking forward to watching this kid. Now, a little bit of a backstory. Yeah, I know Jones is hurt or whatnot. But this guy right here, holding his arm, this is Dr. Stowers. In case nobody knew that, this is Dr. Stowers. He's been around forever. He's like one of those guys that is like the Florida State encyclopedia by now because of all the crap he's seen. I mean, he probably knows every guy that had herpes, genital warts. Like, he knows all that. I mean, he's a doctor, obviously, but he's got backstories on everything.
Yeah.
I have a buddy that played in the 90s at Florida State, and he got sidetracked by a beer bottle one night at some party, some, asshole. Anyways, he got his mouth split. And so in the middle of the night, he goes to his house and he gets his lip sewn up on on his dinner room table or dining table. So
on a dining room table?
Yeah, that's the kind of people are at Florida State. Like, could you imagine you probably got kids sleeping at night?
Yeah.
I think his son, Austin, I played with him at Florida State as well. But could you imagine you got kids sleeping, your wife sleeping, you just, all right, come on in, guys. They were drinking, probably hammered. And let me just sew you up real quick and send you on your way. Like, just talk about, like, Florida State people are awesome. They help you out in that way. And, if you're ever in a bind, there's no question, like, if they can help you, they will. And I kind of got that feel going in for it from that buddy that I'm talking about. I'll mention his name one of these days, but I think he's tuning in right now. And then he had to go to a ACC awards later, and he had an ankle with a boot on, tuxedo, and then he had duck lips because they were stitched together walking across the stage.
Holy crap.
Back in the day, Chuck Amato, I think, just looked at him like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Chuck Amato is all about appearance. He's got a big chest, good-looking guy. I don't know if you remember him. You probably young.
Oh, yeah. I know Amato.
But he was there when I first got there. But that's Dr. Stowers, really good dude. There's also Dr. Thompson as well that's there. And
he did my ACL tear.
Yeah, there's some good doctors in Tallahassee. I'll say that. Got some tiny MRI machines, man. They used to load me up full of Xanax. Yeah, before I could go in them things.
Xanax, exactly.
Hell yeah.
But that was actually
by
a pretty
the way,
serious
Mike Norvell, during the games, I'm just watching his demeanor. He's so calm all the time. Like, I love that about him. I think that's an unbelievable trait to have because there's nothing worse than being like a coach or even a player and seeing a coach just flip out on the sideline. Like, we've all had our moments. There's no question. Like, I'm not going to lie, I've broken a headset before, but I mean, the headset deserved it, damn it.
Yeah.
But he's always calm no matter what, even the situations. And he's got great, time management. He's aware of things that are going on. Like, later on, we'll see, like, he's signaling, hey, he's telling the defensive coordinator, they're going for 2. Like, have something ready. Like, get your plan out. Let's go. And, like, you can see it because he's, like, staring across the way the camera shows him. But right here, this is a look at it's basically like a double. It's like a post, get the safety over, open it up for the outside guy. I like this play. We used to do a lot of this at ETSU with Coach Sanders, or forms of it. Basically, he's going to go in here, cross over, try to get the safety's attention. He's going to try to inside release, gain leverage on this corner on the inside as he drops out. And basically, there's going to be a nice throwing lane as he backs up right in there. Like, this isn't anything schematically, like, bad. It's just they got him, leverage-wise, he's on the outside, so they end up scoring a touchdown. And I'm trying to keep the flow of the game for the Cheez-It Bowl because if not, it'd be all over the place. But this is the one where this is their first score for Oklahoma. Dude crosses over. Right here, you see that there's a nice seam.
Yeah, there was that one.
Like, there's nothing that Keem Dent can do. Like, he's playing his rules. All right, number 2 crossed over. Like, he's kind of that gray area depth-wise. He's about, he's like a little 8-9 yards. Like, all right, do I bite on him? But he bites just enough. It opens up for the outside guy. And, leverage-wise, this is tough. They're playing that stack look. Probably in and out in it.
Dylan Gabriel saw it all from the very beginning, too. And he had a good
By the
game.
way, that sumbitch is good, huh?
Yep. He is good. Very good.
He's really good. So this right here is a split back formation. Like, he's called L slot or left slot, split back, who gives a damn. So it's 21 personnel still. You got your Y, you got your running backs, you got your receiver, you got your other receiver in the slot. I'm a little slow with this.
No, you're good. I was going to say, I think we got McLean at the bottom.
You got what?
I think we got McLean at the bottom here. Yep, and then
this wasn't even blocked right. This big gain right here. This wasn't even blocked right. I'm going to show you why. All right. So this is basically what we call odd spacing. And what I mean by odd spacing, that means it's a 3 down front. Obviously, the number 3 is odd. You got the nose covered up, or excuse me, the center is covered by a nose. You got your guards uncovered and your tackles covered. But this is the front kind of gets in the gray area a little bit because you got what I call 4 eyes right here and right here in the B gaps. And what I call when they end up post snap, they go to bear. And that means both guards are covered and the center is covered. So you got bear, you got odd, and you just got 4 down fronts. So what needs to happen with this scheme is if they're going to run what I call counter tray, that means the guard's pulling and the tackle's pulling. It's just another way to run counter. You can do it with your H as well. But right here, what they're going to do, if they got a guy in the B gap, a backer walked up over here to the right, they got to choke back with this center. Guard's got to come down. Tackle, he's got to get that B gap. So it's a gap scheme, right? So whenever in doubt and you're a player and you don't know shit about shit, if it's a gap scheme, I'm probably going to block my inside gap. Like, that's a way to get by. Like, everybody learns different, and if you can keep it simple for some of those players, they can be really good. And I think that's another thing that Coach Atkins has done really well. I don't know these guys personally, but I'm sure there's a couple boneheads in there, and you got to break it down simple for them like that to truly understand that. And these odd bear fronts can really jack you up, Mike call wise, and especially on gap scheme and who we're blocking. Now, Douglas, he's got C gap to backside backer. Simplest way to put it. So if this backside backer comes in his way, he's got him. If this dude walks up like he does and triggers in his gap, just take him. Let the play get started. And what I like most about this is that we got Trey Benson coming off the edge to kick the edge. Probably a corner, or if that's a safety, that's a corner, that's a safety down in the box, they stick the corner high. Whoever it is, he goes and kicks whoever shows up on the edge. As you're pulling at the guard, you're pulling for the first backer play side. Now, he got covered up, so if he goes over the top, he can pick him up. Now he's got to go make the play of this safety, whoever that is in the deep half right there. And what's going to happen is the tackle now pulls around, and we're hats up. We're going to be hats up. We got a hat for a hat, and we got to let this backside guy go. This is what I call the read guy back here. As number 9, is that Trayshawn Ward? Excuse me, Toa Feely, right?
Yep.
Toa Feely, is he coming across this quarter? Or excuse me, Travis is going to hold this guy with the possible keep. If he hauls ass with it, he could always pull it. Or if they got some kind of RPO over here, he could always throw it. So these are all the things that defenses have to worry about.
It's a
lot of shit.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a lot.
So as you can see, they pull around, and they literally have a hat for a hat. But they don't block that backside 4-eye. As you can see, this guy is unblocked. He is that 4-eye. This is that backer that was on the outside. The center gets him late. And then somehow somebody sneaks out right here. I don't know if it was a center or who it was. It might be the guard.
Looks like it might be.
But he ends up slipping out and getting a hold of him. I don't know how. That was the left tackle.
That was
Left
Scott.
tackle slips out. He ends up going to the guard. Guard collects him. Gibbons collects him. But Gibbons is trying to work to the nose guard. So they're jacked up here. But they still get yards. It's unbelievable. And there's another thing, too, as a coach. Whenever you draw up some awesome scheme concept-wise for the pass game, it's always going to go to the open guy. And guess who the open guy is? The guy that ran the wrong route. Like, of course. That's just how it works.
Yep.
So this right here, I'm a big fan of Marquiston Douglas. He's a guy that looks like a tackle, in my opinion. He's 6'4", 270. I mean, look at this man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a grown-ass man. However, he is young still. He is young. Brownsville, Tennessee kid, played at Haywood. You can still tell there's some Memphis ties there as well, Coach Norvell. But what I like about this guy is he can block, he can catch. And, I come from that old school world of where we had O'Leary. We had a bunch of other tight ends that could play too. Kevin Hapley, he could play. He was a Penn State transfer. But, he could do it all. And this right here, what they're trying to get done in the pass game right here. Essentially got one guy to hold this backer, And then right here, he's going to slip out into the flat. That's all it is. Same thing right here, slip out into the flat. And there's a lot of variations of that. And then right here, they're in empty. So somebody's out here maybe running a go or just a hitch. I'm not sure. Hopefully they don't have 10 guys on the field. That's the problem is I don't have that fancy-ass film like I've been spoiled with for so long. By the way, I bought a freaking gym membership the other day. It's the first time I've had to do that. I know that sounds like really spoiled, but I've always been lucky enough to have somewhere to go. Always been lucky enough to have somewhere to go.
I was going
to work out.
I wanted to mention on Biscuit or Marquise Douglas, like you're talking about. He's a guy that lost a good amount of pounds going from the spring camp and then going into fall camp to work on his body a whole ton. And Coach Thomason was really excited for him. And it seemed like J Trav and those two built some chemistry really early on in this last spring. So now you'll get another one. Like you said, he's a younger player. And now you're going to add on a more versatile tight end, which we'll be doing a whole deep dive into Jaheim Bell, who was practically can be an H-back. You can utilize him anywhere on the field. But you can see just the threat that Marquise brings with his size, like you were talking about. He does look like I mean, look at Scott here, 52, and you look at Marquise. There, you don't see much difference in size there at all. And
I think they're both basketball players as well at one point or another. By the
Yeah.
way, did you know Robert Scott? I just thought this was interesting. I know he's from Arkansas. His high school, I feel like I've seen this in a cartoon, but their mascot's called a Wampus Cat. Have you ever heard of that?
I've never heard of a Wampus Cat. I've not.
Me neither. I thought that was really. I'm not making fun of their high school or whatever, but I just thought that was really interesting. That just
Maybe we need to ask Marquise during the spring camp what that exactly is. It seems like some kind of anime character, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could Google it, but I just like that's an interesting cat. But there's actually some good football in Arkansas. We used to dabble a little bit when I was a GA at Southern Miss, but not much. But they got dudes out there. Just got to go find them. And obviously, being in Memphis where Norvell was, I'm sure he's got great connections there in Arkansas because that's right there. And obviously, when you're a coach, like you can be a genius, but not know shit. Because if you recruit the right guys that make you right on game day, who gives a shit if you can draw it up on the board? Like there's a lot of guys that get by and make a living like that. It's unbelievable. So you got to learn how to recruit, but you also got to know ball too to be a well-rounded coach. Right here's a short yardage play. Really not sure what they're trying to get done here. Obviously, you got Trayshawn Ward lined up, and you got who is that? Darian Williamson. By the way, he was teammates with Marquise Douglas, right, in high school at one point.
I believe so. Yep.
Yeah. So that's cool, man. At least you got like people there. It's I noticed too, like the guys from California, they got a few. You can't just have one guy from California in Tallahassee. You got to have a few to so they're not culture shocked. It's a total different world.
Well, Micah Pittman.
Huh?
Micah Pittman and Johnny Wilson both played high school football together.
Exactly. And it's even, whether they're Tongan, Samoan, I played with a lot of guys at New England that were that, and they were really cool people. But like, if you have like one of those guys, you got to have multiple ones because like they're so family oriented, you know what I mean? And it helps too when you're out of state recruit and you go somewhere and you're getting homesick, you at least got somebody there with you. So there's always strategy to recruiting and how many guys you get from where, so it's tough when you get one guy from one place. Right here, this is a short yardage play. They're just trying to seal the edge and get around here, but we end up not sealing the edge. That was a tough play to watch. I won't go down and break that down. No, we got to get moving. But I want to take this to Micah Pittman. Obviously, his dad in the NFL championship with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they beat the Raiders 04. And then his brother at Indy, I think he got drafted in 2020, second round. But what he does right here is he sells the crap that he's about to catch the ball. So these gunners running downfield think he's about to get it. So they slow up. As they're slowing up, they're out of position to get back here and possibly tip the ball back so it's not a touchback. Because this ball right here crosses the plane. It's now a touchback, getting the ball back at the 20. I used to coach punt, so like all these stupid little things are going to pop up. You'll see.
What do you tell your gunners there? How do you go of doing that for this Oklahoma guy that's over here?
It depends on the formation you have. Thanks for asking that. I should have elaborated more on that. But
that's why I'm here. That's the only thing I'm here for.
You got. So you see these two guys. You should at least have two guys right there to get in front of them. And whoever your first guy is downfield, whether he's your adjuster or your like true gunner, go get behind him. Get 2 yards. Wherever that ball is, try to find it. Take a peek, too, when you're about 20, 25 yards deep. You hear it or you get to the 20, you start to hear it, and look back, find it. And whoever ends up being first, go ahead and turn up. Find the ball, find where it's at, get behind the returner just in case he tries to pull one of those on you. Because you got 2 guards, 2 tackles, and then you got your guys in the shields, you got your adjuster, and you got 2 gunners coming after him. So you got to think about numbers, distribution, lanes, and then obviously not pursuing too quick to where you don't have leverage to make a play. But this is a great job and just kind of like a good savvy move by him, thinking like he's about to get it. Great catch. Fakes him out. Like everybody thinks he's about to get the ball. So pretty smooth job by him. So this one I noticed, just speaking of punt, this is a really neat deal they got going on here. So everybody's doing this. This is kind of a trend. You used to see 3 guys back here, right? Well, not anymore. It's like not a thing. So it's evolved to a 2-man shield. So this guy is your adjuster. Number 10, I believe is that Jamie Robinson? He's your adjuster?
Yep, that's Jamie.
Wow. That's a guy to worry about. So you take this guy every week and you find somewhere to put him and you give him a position he's got to move to called the home position. Each week, mix it up. Like I think at one point I had 17 different formations 3/4 of the way through the season. So like that's the way to go. But the way they have this, they're bringing the adjuster to the zone side. So you split the center down the middle. All his job is to snap to the damn ball. Get it to the front hip of the punter. Go break down 10 yards in front of the ball. That's all you got to do. Just get the damn snap. Everybody else has got to count. If you split them down, you got your man side, you got your zone side. Now, I think they're zoning this just from what I'm watching. Some people are man each side, and eventually you can mind trick the zone guys into blocking man. But, those are guys that are – you put your really good guys on that side, but they're not so smart, and you put your really – decent guys that are smart on the man side because they got to have to be able to count. If we're looking at this, he's going to be blocking 1. That's 1, 2, 3. This tackle has to block 2. Guard blocks 3. He's looking for 1 right here. And then the launch point of the ball should be 2.5 steps. As he slides over, it should be on his outside, his outside hip. Yeah, right here. His outside hip as it slides over. That's why he's tilted over. So he might just step straight because he's already cheated. Now, what you do is you tell him, hey, you got 4. All right, well, who is 4? You designate him who's 4. And that lets everybody else know up front, hey, let him go. Don't worry about him. So as he does that, this guard has to now work out. This guy is off at depth. And I'm sure they've seen all week, all season long. They had a few weeks to break this game down. Hey, that guy's never coming. He's the guy who's just kind of playing the long snapper as he gets downfield. He's the guy checking for fakes. So right here, this guy's going to work out to the next guy in his gap. It'll be a fan call. Work out. He blocks him. He blocks him. All right. I know that's a lot. But what they end up doing is they bring him in, the adjuster. And by the way, the gunners, he's going to be, if he's on the wide side of the field, I always prefer him to outside release so they could work their way back in and essentially chase the backside shoulder of that returner. Now, with this gunner right here, he's inside release. And as you're a punter, you want to punt it on the numbers. Like, you got to get it there. That's the whole point, is directional punting. As a punter gets here, as he inside releases, hopefully not getting washed, stacks him, gets vertical, he's going to go lock the door. So he's got to force him to work up here. And now as this tackle's covering him as he catches the ball, he's what I call a 4x4 alley fold. And I'll get to that in a second. This guard is 2x2 inside shoulder stack. So he's going to keep that returner on his inside right shoulder as he gets there. In the perfect world, we punt it in the the direction on the numbers. This is how it's taught. Long snapper, 10 yards, stay out of the way. Usually that's the case. These guys are blocking out, but now he's going to inside shoulder stack, leverage on his inside shoulder, and then you got your tackle working out here for the alley fold. So he's working the alley. This long snapper, the returner works upfield. He can now essentially fold over the top. As soon as this guard disappears and the return disappears, he can fold over the top. Now, if he bounces out, he has to what I call leverage the face, keep him on his inside shoulder. A lot of yellow right there. But that's a little breakdown for punt. I can go on for days. Wait till you see later if we still got time, if I ramble too long. Oklahoma ended up having 10 guys on the field. So that was really fun to watch their coach freak out about that. But right here, this is an issue. You can see the adjuster, he ends up blocking out. And right here, this right tackle, he ends up letting this guy run through. But good job by 45 picking it up. Now, coverage lane, that ball needs to get more over there on the numbers. Everybody loses the inside shoulder stack, and they get out.
So now, is that on Shaheem 38 here on missing that initial block right off the bat?
It's really
you're
all
relying on Preston to make that block.
It starts with the punter. It starts with the punter. Like, punters piss me off. Like, punters are good when they do right, but, like, God forbid, dude, like, get the damn ball. Get the damn ball in numbers, man. Don't put it over here, because guess what's going to happen? It's coming back this way. As you see him chasing this dude, he ends up getting washed all the way in here. And as he bounces out, he's got no shot. And all he's got to do is keep him there like he would in basketball. Now you can't, like, block in the back. Everybody's sensitive to it. You got to, what I call, scrape paint and rip across his face with that back shoulder. But, so it definitely didn't help the play here. But, again, it starts with the damn punter, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
But, I'm super nitpicky, and I've been super hard on punters. Ask Nate Brackett at ETSU, but he handled it well. But, yeah, a lot of guys losing their leverage, a lot of guys getting beat downfield on that one. Now, I love this play right here, a little misdirection. It's weird. I don't know if they got the call wrong up front, but they're pulling a guard to the running side of it. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to motion this dude across. They brought him here to bring him there, right? We're trying to get the ball in the perimeter, go that way. What ends up happening is he's got to get the widest guy and the next widest guy and the next widest guy. They got to MDM it, and they're going to be essentially 3 hats up. What they did was bring this defender over here, as you saw last night with Kansas City and Philadelphia, just dicking with people, trying to get them looking like they're going across the formation, and then all of a sudden, boom, they stop and come back, and they ended up thinking they were going to have to pass it off as he's crossing. They weren't. Then boom, there's 2 touchdowns given up. So it's tough. So they end up catching him right here. And it's weird because I told you, they're going to end up pulling this guard around here. Very strange. I've seen schemes like this where we pull, everybody blocks down, pulls around, and that holds the backers this way. But as this guard's pulling here to the right, I would just think you're bringing more guys to the party. I'm all about misdirection and what I call eye candy, trying to, if you will, dick them. But like right here, they got the leverage to do some good things. And they end up getting some good yards on this.
Yeah, they did.
So watch right here. They come across, misdirection. They got a hat up. They got a running back lead blocking. They got a sniffer, and then they got a receiver out here. And as you can see right here, I mean, they're not even blocking some guys, but like just the fact is that's easy 4 or 5 yards as they're coming across. So some of the stuff they're doing is tough to defend. I mean, if you got athletes on athletes and you get leverage with motions and hat placement with lead blockers, you get 4 or 5 yards.
Ooh, 22 is bringing Azrae Thomas all the way into the damn sideline to the benches. Good God.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. He wasn't messing around.
True freshman, Azrae. Learning lesson.
Oh, no question. But this right here, you got to deal with. So what just happened here? I don't know if you realized it, but if you look at who's in motion right here, the quarterback is in motion. He just switched sides with the running back and made it turn into a wildcat. And he's motioning out now. However, nowadays, all these guys, all these skill players, a lot of them are just like, you'll see on their huddles, they're just athletes. They'll put ATH on it, all cats. They're athletes. So they've played quarterback in, whether it's Little League, freshman ball, JV, or, they had a few packages in high school. At some point, a lot of these guys have done that. So you still have to honor those guys that, are running backs, but like pop in there at Wildcat. And also you got to honor these guys too, quarterbacks that played wide receiver, or played running back, or did whatever, just common ass athletes. So right here, they ended up checking to 0. So he's man on him. He's expanding out. He's fitting downhill. I think he's got him as well. And then right here, my guy's got him, man. Little dots everywhere.
Damn.
All they do is run a quarterback counter right here. But what they do a good job of, right here is they end up emptying the box. They empty the box with the motion out. Now, this is where they catch us. You ever heard the expression, get caught with your pants down?
Yep.
Yeah, this happened. It's unfortunate. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Obviously, he's the guy fucking up. He's the 12th guy. He's got to get out. So I don't know what the miscommunication was there, but that's unfortunate. Especially, I think he came from all the way over here, and you're a bigger guy. Who is that, 44?
That's Joshua Farmer.
Joshua Farmer.
Yep.
Oh boy, he don't even sound fast. He's got Farmer as a last name.
No, Odell's probably yelling at him. I see Mike Norvell. He's
Son, what are
crouched down.
you doing? I don't know if
I
y'all
bet you
know
it's-
Odell, but Odell's really great.
Oh yeah.
The old joke used to be back in the day, because he's got a really big head. Most offensive linemen, defensive linemen do, is that he could pick up the Mayweather fight for free satellite, that noggin. So there's a little backstory for you there.
Nice.
Nowadays, it'd be like the equivalent to Wi-Fi.
Now
I
is that
guess.
what Trickett would use on y'all? I mean, I was around.
Trick could just wear that ass out, man. He had that old school mentality, and like if he saw something in you that bugged him, or like he found an insecurity in you, he would expose it to you in front of everybody in the room, sometimes the team, but it made you uncomfortable big time, but it made you comfortable being uncomfortable, kind of thing. Kind of like when it's too tough for them, it's just right for us. Like that was a huge quote we had. I don't know if y'all remember Ryan McMahon. He made shirts about that when he left. That was really cool. There's a lot of dudes I want to bring up from like the past, and like guys you probably never even thought of since they left. But anyways, yeah, they get caught with 12 guys on the field, get the ball 2nd and 7, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down. And right here, just run the ball. This is a really good job by them up front. You can see like there's no press on the line of scrimmage, but I want to talk about this little twist game. You got to have some serious balls, defensive coordinator, to actually call this. Just the pure worry of guys getting out of gaps, because on defense, everybody's got a gap, A, B, C gap. It all works itself out from the center. Mm-hmm. What they do is they end up twisting this tackle in this end. I think it's Jared Verse and 99 takes one step and works over the top. He ends up just burying the left guard. It's unbelievable. But I just thought that was worthy. I had to give the D lineman some love. Obviously, D lineman my whole life has been nemesis, but now I gotta love them since I'm doing this now. And they're Florida State guys, so it is what it is there. Now, this is really good. He just smashed it.
Who was in the inside with Jared there? I couldn't tell really. I don't know who that was because Fabian had came back. Well, no, Fabian wasn't available in this game. That's right. So you were relying a lot, of course, on Robert Cooper, your biggest vet with Florida State. But then,
sorry about that. I'd end up hitting the damn button. Fat ass.
No, you're good.
But yeah, if you watch him, he just buries that left guard. Is that?
Yeah, he did. I see Cooper.
Yeah, that's Jared Verse, right? You see, like they twist the 3 technique. They take him over the top. He gets to the left tackle and left guard on different levels. And he just buries them. So I just thought that was 59, noteworthy. Yeah. That's playing physical football, because like that's where it's won. And like last night, you saw all the misdirection plays, all the perimeter bullshit screens, throws, everything. Like because it had to be won in the trenches, but like that was a quick way to like how do we not block people and still gain yards? Like that's what it comes down to, because the trenches, were so good on both sides of the ball last night. Now, this play pisses me off, man. This has got whoever the OC is, he's got some balls too. Watch this quarterback. This is unbelievable. I can't believe he got away with this shit. The running back goes this way. His head is facing that way, right? This end, they're going to double team him, work to here, combo this A gap to that backside backer, and come around right here. I can't remember if he split flows or not. Sorry about that. But right here, he turned his head. Look at that. Just trust 100%. That end is going to make that play.
Wow.
And he trusts that he's going to bite it. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's tough. Yeah, the backside edge, he ended up just cutting off. But, like, they wad all this up. So as soon as they wad all this up, he sees the down block. This makes this guy just scrape hard as hell. And he sees him turn his head. So he's not worried. He's not worried as if he was watching from here and his, gun going that way and him pulling it.
Yeah, he's not expecting him to do that.
Yeah. So if he's going to go that way, okay, I'm not worried about it because his head's that way. He just ends up pulling it. So, I mean, kudos to them drawing that up and having the nuts to call it.
Ooh, Tatum's like, oh, shit. Tatum's like, God damn it, really?
Oh,
here we go.
Guess what? I know we just see Seminole fans right here, but see a little, see a lot, see nothing. D's Knowles, all that. But look at the guy next to him. Does that look familiar to anybody? Any true Seminole fans out there still watching this garbage-ass show after me rambling on forever? No? I'm just kidding. It's not garbage, but
it is not. It's beautiful stuff so far.
Like right
next
here,
to the D's Knowles guy?
Yeah, but look to the guy. Does anybody recognize anybody in here?
I'm usually big on faces and can recognize. Oh, wait,
That
wait,
is
wait, wait,
Ruben.
wait, 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 wait. Hold up. Is that that's not Bebo, is it?
That is Reuben Carter.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember him or no?
Mm,
It's
would
okay.
have been
He was
young.
an offensive lineman. He transferred to Toledo a few years down the road, but really good dude. He had to come in for Trey Jackson when we played Pitt my senior year when Jameis just like had his debut, kind of went off. Uh, but really good dude, Ruben. I think he's from Miami as well.
So
Yeah,
he's
just
hanging out.
see him sitting there chilling. I was like, holy shit, that's Ruben.
That's funny you noticed that next to do with friggin' D's. I've never heard of D's Knowles. Of course, we all know D's nuts, but D's Knowles is pretty impressive to me.
Don't get me started. Right here, Ruben's just like, all right, dude, go Knowles, but like sit down. I'm trying to chill and have fun.
Yeah.
But good for these people living their best life, you know? Like you'll
Look
see,
at
like I got a few clips of some guys in the crowd. It's just unbelievable watching people enjoy themselves because of Seminole football.
Yeah, and that
Like,
when you have a
truly
team
enjoy
like
it. Like,
this, the fight
these
for 10
guys
wins.
don't. I didn't realize it either as a player, but these guys up front, all the positions, they don't realize the smile they can put on somebody's face, the light they can bring to somebody's day. So like when they go out there, it might be the only time a kid watches you play, but who knows? You knock the shit out of somebody on side of the field that he's sitting on. He sees that now he wants to play football, and that kid goes on and plays, gets a scholarship, and ends up being a pro someday. But
yeah, it is impressive. We
the
got
guy reading a book at the Clemson game. Is that the one meme of the Florida State guy? Like way up in the top in like row 87 or something like that?
Yeah, when Florida State was getting the shit beat out of them. Yeah. Yep. Those were some days that hopefully we won't have to talk about too much longer.
My question is, that guy, whoever you are out there, why'd you bring a book? Did you know we were going to get our ass whooped? Or do you have a crystal
Maybe
ball or you miss Cleo? What is it? How do you know?
He knew ahead of time, and I believe someone in the chat will tell us because the chat is always smarter. But I believe he is a professor at Florida State. I don't know if I'm wrong on that, but he's up there just doing some studying on some things and getting to get also a tan going on too.
Do you know who's an awesome professor? And I think this is huge in recruiting too. And like, this is a guy, if you have a recruiting weekend or visit set up and you're a coach, this is a guy you have at like one of the lunches or brunches or something on a Saturday or Sunday when you sit down and talk academics and give that presentation. And Mark Ziegler,
yep,
he's a speech teacher, communications guy. He did my wedding as well. He's one of the few guys only class I enjoyed going to as a Seminole. But it was really cool. I gave my final lecture or whatever you call it, final speech on outside zone and inside zone, and I passed. But I put in the effort. I did it right. I didn't just get a fucking grade now. Like this guy, like he made you work for it. But such a great human being. I'm glad he was able to come to my wedding. So shout out to Mark Ziegler. You're awesome. Married a lot of people, a lot of Knowles, and he's the reason why one of the many reasons why you love Florida State. So shout out, Mark.
Awesome.
Yeah. This right here is a really good protection by the O-line. And I want to talk about this look right here. There's a few things that we need to see. We'll see Ruben real quick hanging out.
He's
so
like, what the
off.
hell am I dealing with right here?
Hopefully I didn't bust him or anything. Like, if this is his side girl that he's holding on to or something. I don't know if he's
well, we
don't.
Yeah,
no disrespect, Ruben. I don't know you, man. I'm sorry if I blew your cover. Hopefully, I'm sure you're a good dude. Sitting there with your wife.
We just screwed him here.
That's just where my mind goes. Dirty mind. Anyways, right here we got a good pickup. We got Mike left. It's a 4-down front. You got 2-3 techniques. I call it a split front. We got our ends right here. Center's going left, sliding left. We're going to get a zone coverage. We get the tight end releasing, essentially turning out. This bagger's going to expand with him. As this outside receiver, I call it dig route, is going to work in this window. He's going to be here. He's going to work out. There's going to be a lot of room when this backer expands out here to this tight end. A lot of room in this window. But he might back up a little bit. But you'll see he's going to stay on the move, and he needs to throttle down because if not, he's going to get smacked. Protection-wise, I know I just kind of went into everything right there. This is a good job by Maurice Smith. All right, so we're getting a T and then an E. What I mean by that, that's the tackle and that's the end. The tackle went first, the end went second. If the end went first and the tackle went second, it would be an ET. If the tackle goes first and the end goes second, it's TE. Same thing with tackle nose, TN, NT. So that's the easiest way to break it down. You don't spend a lot of time typing up a bunch of bullshit. So as this spike expands with the back, center's got essentially the A gap to the next thing that shows. As this happens and they get on two different levels, the left tackle and left guard, he's at least there to pick it up. Now with this protection right here, if it's a 5-man protection, you got no threat besides these dudes that possibly blitzing, right? But they're way the hell out there. We don't have to worry about them. Most likely on the backside of this, like you just got to have some common ass sense. You got to know you're going to take 1 and 2. He's out now. It's 5-man protection. You technically are on the dual side because there's nobody out there to help you. But have some common sense. That's 1 and 2. You guys are probably like, what the hell is he talking about? This is a really good job on Maurice Smith being there to help. But you'll see Robert Scott Jr. and Gibbons get on off 2 different levels. Now, looking at this route right here by Wilson. It's a tight end. Who is that, 87? Is he Cameron McDonald?
My bad. My mic was muted. But, yeah, Cam McDonald, veteran guy.
Yeah, Cam McDonald. He's in there trying to clear it out. Oh, this is the wrong play. So what happened was he ended up going vertical. And I can't believe he even got this freaking play off. But what happens is this running back is getting out of the play, number 8, he's taking that will linebacker with him. And probably the throw is to Wilson. You'll see right here as he's in the hole. Right there. When I say in the hole, it's right here. He's clearing it out like there's no doubt. There's a window there.
Mm-hmm.
But if he would bite just a little more, there's a window right there as well. Sorry, I got mixed up with 2 different plays. I don't know if you guys know, but I've been working on this for a while. Yeah. And I've had technology problems. And I've literally watched this game 3 or 4 times and cut it up 3 or 4 times. So a little bit of it gets mixed up from time to time.
I was say, can you also dump that off over to Trey, off to the left? Whenever
good. There's leverage there, no doubt. You just got to make sure like that guy's going to miss. You know, sometimes quarterbacks see it, sometimes they don't. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they don't. Now, right here, this is another FIB formation. What I mean by that is right here, you got 3 receivers. You got another receiver over here to the field, and we're all crammed in here. So it forces us to take a nickel over. You got a safety here, safety there. You got your core, your backers, and your D-line, corner, another corner over here. This is a really beautiful thing. I love when the other team screws up. I don't know if you just saw it, but we just made a hell of a play, right? Is it because we're good? Hell yeah, we're fucking Florida State. But where we get a little help from the football gods, if you will. We got a right tackle pulling this way, and we got another dude pulling this way. Like that?
Something's screwed up here. Something's very
somebody's jacked up. Somebody got the wrong call. I don't know what they're trying to get done here. They're trying to run trap, or they screwed up to the left side. Like 59, the left guard didn't have a great game either for Oklahoma. He struggled with some penalties, holdings, shit like that. They end up kicking the field goal, missing it. I love a good missed field goal, especially when it's not us. Obviously, was spoiled being with Dustin and Roberto Aguayo. By the way, I hope he's doing well, man, wherever you're at. Haven't heard from you in a while, but hope you're doing good, kicking ass. Right here's a good little counter tray scheme. You got the guard and tackle pulling. We get some yards. Always love good chunk yards. So what's going to happen here is what we saw earlier where we didn't block it right. We ran counter tray with the guard and tackle pulling. And this is the same exact front, a little bit different with some where the backers and alignments are, but it's the same damn thing. You hit him the block back, match it down. If he triggers, take him. If he expands out, work to this backside backer. As we pull, you pull to kick the first thing that's on the line of scrimmage. If you can log it, awesome. If you can log it, this tackle can come around as well, and we can be a hat up. Now, this is where I still think Douglas, Mark Easton, is just a little bit of a young pup. And once he understands football fully, like this is a dude like you got to watch out for. He could probably get drafted, like no joke, just from just his physical attributes. If he could just figure it out mentally a little bit, I think he would have a great spot. I ain't getting on you, dude, if you're out there watching, man. I just think you're a hell of a ball player. And if you keep developing, man, it's up to you, man. So right here, he needs to go cut off the C gap to anything that shows. And again, if he goes over the top, no big deal. He goes C gap to the next thing that shows. Or if there's nothing there, he could always lock on here. There's a term I used to like to call CLS that I learned from the last stop. Basically, C gap, the second level to safety. It's the easiest way to pick things up. we're in the shotgun. So as he's coming across, you always got to worry about Travis pulling the keep. So right here, we can always read him and hold him with our eyes at quarterback.
So he's picking up that. Okay.
So, but he screws it up. And now where the play should really hit, I don't know if you can see the hole or not, the play should be following here, the tackle, the wrapper.
Following
See what I'm
Darius.
saying?
Yep.
Like we shouldn't have to bounce this. But the fact is, he ends up getting squirting through there because we don't pick up that dude that hits the C gap as soon as the ball snaps. So these are those little things. If he cleans those up and he can figure out why he's doing what he's doing and why he needs to do what he needs to do in the scheme of things, shit, man, watch out.
And you're lucky you have Trey.
Power bill no more, brother. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and you're lucky too with Trey Benson's Trey Benson, and he's usually gonna get off that first tackle that's coming his way.
I mean, you can see right here. Just pick him up, dude. You got it. Like we got everybody blocked.
Yeah.
Like look at this hole.
Woo. Yeah, and I would be honest, Trey takes that to the house.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. If you draw up a play on the board, like a lot of coaches are guilty of this, drawing a play up on the board, it looks good on the board because it's blocked up perfectly, right? Well, guess what? In football, there's fucking chaos. Hence the show. Like so that's why we're calling it. But yeah, you can calculate up any play you want, but the shit gets chaotic. People move, people stunt, people wrap, people blitz. People stem pre-snap. Like you got to be ready for it. And you got to have an answer for it at all times. But again, if you just do the right things at the right time, like this is one of those plays you're like, damn, I wish I had that one back so we could be up that much more on these guys.
100%.
And just fully dominate.
I just don't know how Trey's. I mean, that's we learned early on with Benson how he can get off tackles like that. But I mean, his hip is outward right side to the defender, and I just don't know how he gets off that tackle.
It's pretty incredible, right? So this right here is like a staple in anybody's offense. Mind you, by the way, old school football, right? We haven't seen it in a while where everybody's under center. This used to be a staple day 1, day 2 install. It's 12 personnel. You got 2 tight ends, and then you got 2 receivers and a running back. But like this is a staple of your outside zone game. So you need outside zone, right? If you're going to run that, you're going to make that your bread and butter. But you need play action off of it. So you need something to look like it's going to be the damn run. So even more for the bells and whistles and the eye candy is they get under center, which that's a great attribute because a lot of these guys get under center the first time in the NFL and they shit right down their leg. I've had to run so many laps. I screwed up a few snaps with Jimmy Garoppolo, but when he was at Eastern, he was an air raid offense and he just never took a snap under center. So we ran a lot of laps during rookie minicamp and OTAs and even training camp, just trying to get right, trying to snap the ball. So nothing more frustrating as a center with a quarterback that can't do that. So good job, for Maurice Smith having a quarterback that can do this, do the damn thing. But you'll see right here, what we're going to do is we're going to motion. We're going to slip him out to the flat. He's going to work almost a 4-6 sail. And, a lot of places have him on a comeback, or you can also do a sail route. And the sail is just you work your way in, make it look like you're crossing over, get vertical, and then you just roll the shit out of it, hoping this guy's soft as hell or he's triggered over here, and now you got a lot of space and a lot of room to run or get open. Excuse me. He's going to block the C gap. He slips out. The whole line's going to fake outside zone to the left. So they all got their gap to the sideline. Now, if you're this wide tight end, you're responsible for the boot. You should be about 10 yards over the ball, OTB, as you're crossing over. As you're crossing over, you got to see where are these defenders at. Is this backer expanded or is he down here on the flat? As you're coming across, you got to get ready to settle or keep on the move and essentially find the grass. So this is a really good job by them working across. And basically, you can build this into any system you have. Like if you didn't motion 80 over here, somebody's got to have a flat. Somebody's got to be in this area. Somebody's got to have a boot. And then if you don't motion him across, he would have the post. And then now he would slam flat. There's so many different ways and combinations to do this. If you watch Sean McVay's offense, he's the guru at it. We were good at it as well. We called it 8 Roger, 8 Louis. How you remembered it was if you took the 8 and put it sideways and put 2 dots in it, it looked like boobs, and it was naked. And what we call it, the term was naked protection. So it looked like boobs. Therefore, word association, you could remember it. So those are all those little nuances and details. If you're simple, smart guys like us, that's how you got to remember things.
I remember boobs.
Yeah. Move naked. Okay, cool. Outside zone play action. Don't go down the field. If you're the play side tackle here, if you're Robert Scott, you got the C gap to the sideline. And then running back, as you're coming across, you just clean up whatever shows. Quarterback stay on the move. If the flat's open, great. Hit it. If it's not, read it, low to high. And then essentially as you come across, you got the flat, it's covered, the sail's covered. You just got to hit the boot after that.
That's something Norvell likes to do too with his fast wide receivers, and Pokey was one of those guys. He loved putting him in where he's already in stride and getting the ball in his hands.
This is a really good shot here too. One of my favorite formations. Again, 12 personnel. You got 2 tight ends. As you can see right here, they got a 4-1 box. You got 4 down linemen. You got 4 down linemen here. If I can get it, there we go. 4 down linemen. You got your Mike, your Will, Sam, Nickel, whatever you want to call them. We got a 4-1 box. Let's take care of the double teams right here. You could even run the ball here. This is a play action, or not a play action, it's RPO. Right here, you could work it, take care of level 1. As soon as he fits, tight end, you come off. Center and front side guard, working a single. Anytime you work a zone combination between a center and guard, they call it single. Guard and tackle, double. And anytime you got a tackle on the tight end, it's a triple. So you got the T and the D, and then you got the single. So that's how you got to remember it. There's certain little word association things that can help you. Now, backside guard, you're on your own on this G technique. When I say G, inside shoulder of the guard. This tight end right here and the backside right tackle, Darius Washington, they're working him to the backside Will. Now, the cool thing about this is his leverage. He is on the outside shoulder of Wilson. If I'm not a DC, I don't know shit about – I mean, I know a little bit about defense, but, I'm not an expert. But I'm not playing this dude outside leverage. And if I am, I'm going to have somebody here to take away anything that comes inside. Because this dude is a big body guy. He's like basically a tight end. You might be better off having a safety over here and just going corners over or something, taking another corner out and having extra safety just for the personnel and size matchup. But what they do is they call the RPO, run pass option. He's going to stem in and then snap it on that 7th step. It could be wide ass open. But the quarterback is reading him.
Okay.
He's reading him. He's going right in front of him. He's going to clear the midline. Clear the midline this way. He's going to clear it, and he's going to be reading this guy. He bites. That's wide ass open. And honestly, this Will right here doesn't even bite hard, and you're hoping with the run action he's coming downhill, but he actually expands. However, Travis and Wilson are such on the same page. There's that window right there. They hit it. So if I just hit the damn play button, we'll see. These double teams are what suck it down. Thank you, Dan Avorsky or whoever. I can't pronounce the last name for drawing that up. God does a great job. I didn't realize he played quarterback for so long in the league. Good for that guy. But right here, you can see the window. The safety trigger's down in the box. And again, what you're seeing is a 4 or 5 man box, right? You got 4 down linemen, 1 backer in the box. The other 2 are on the outsides. They want to give you the illusion that you have that, so you run it. But what they do is with the safety is they trigger him in there, essentially creating a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 man box with all those guys. If you count the backers 4 down and the safety. So good job by them, man. Just trying to, trick dick him into it, but better job by Travis making that play on the 7-step skinny route. That's really good shit right there.
Damn.
But the run action helps with the double teams, and we're right down the poop chute. It's really good stuff. I love this play right here, man. This is a staple from the last year, and this is what it's all about right here, boys. I'm a girl dad right here, making your daughter happy. Dad takes his daughter to the game. She's smiling. She's happy. She loves Florida State. Keep it that way, right? I know my daughter's going to be spoiled with all kinds of Florida State stuff. But this is what it's about, man, is these guys got to understand. They're playing ball, and they're putting smiles on people's faces, and that's why it's so important. Just, something I didn't even think about when I was a player. Like, anytime there's a fan, say what's up to them. I'm up here in Tennessee. I see somebody wearing Florida State in Walmart. I go up to him. I say, what's up? Why not? Awesome. You might be the light in somebody's day, right? Got to use that platform you got. But look at that. She's so happy.
She is so happy.
That's
and Dad, look at Dad. Yeah.
That if you don't think that's cool, then fuck you, man. But
150%, dude. That's going to be you, though. That's going to be you in a few months, pretty much, in this next season, man.
Hopefully Florida State will have girls football, and then she'll just be the damn guru and be the first woman to win the Remington.
You're gonna be put. Yeah, I was about to say you're gonna put her enough. You're gonna put her through a film enough. I can tell you that. Good God! But
I've literally done most of this cut up with her in one arm and one hand on the mouse. So it's been kind of tough, but she's an angel, and she's definitely knows some ball. So what's going on right here? If I just back this up a little bit.
We got Pokey.
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, you're good.
It's a little finicky. We're like right here. They pull the guard and tackle. It looks like counter. So when I say that, counter tray. If this happens, we used to call this calves for whatever reason. I don't know, but it's really good stuff. He's going to run a boot like he just did. This, like, some of the concepts can get tied into that outside zone play action stuff I was telling you about. Because the quarterback's going to roll out. Anytime there's any rolling out, there's certain routes that fit that certain type. Because think about it, as you're rolling out this way, you got just one part of the field you got to work with. So you need a boot, you need somewhere high, you need somewhere low, to really put it simple. So right here, you got the guard pulling to kick, and you got the tackle pulling the wrap, and obviously they know not to go downfield. This tight end right here, collect whatever shows in the C gap. I used to tell the tight ends, and if they're watching right now, they're probably thinking, oh, God, here it comes. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Great song, right? But seriously, don't go chasing. Stay right here, because as the running back goes across, and once he realizes, this C-gap guy realizes this quarterback's rolling out, he's going to run right back into your ass. Or if he goes hauling ass now, guess who's scraping over the top? Right? So right here, you're going to be positioned to block whoever shows most dangerous as he's rolling out. So that's calves. Don't go chasing waterfalls. 45, he chases a little bit of waterfalls. He could have got that backer over the top. That would be my coaching point on that. And again,
Preston.
Happy daughter, keep her happy. Again, you guys, out there that are watching their players, you put a smile on people's faces. Now, what's going to happen? This is a smash concept. So we high-low the corner. High-low the corner here. What that means? This is the corner. That's the safety. He's going to run a flag route. He's going to run the hitch. If he doesn't jump, if he drops back in here to this flag, guess what? This is the next flat defender that has to get all the way out here to take that away, right? So if that happens, he'll bang it on him right now all damn day. Now, if this corner sinks and we got the outside, we're attacking the outside shoulder at the number 2 receiver here and then breaking out, and he sinks down, we're going to be wide open. And then worst comes to worst, you big picture this, you potentially have a boot, and as you're coming around, ain't nobody out there and everybody's covered, you could always pull it. Now, the only difference is something I would suggest to Coach Norvell and Coach Atkins. I know I got balls doing this because I'm not in there. I'm not on staff. I'm not in the room talking with them. I don't know what's in their playbook. But what I'm used to is as this center blocks back, as they're blocking counter tray, have this center work through here flat, waiting for a go call by the quarterback. So if he hears the go call, he knows he's scrambling. So now you got another lead blocker. So I think that's really would be a good thing to add on in there. Maybe that's a little much for him. I don't know. But that's the school I was raised in with that. But they ran the snatch route. Huh?
I was going to say, let's clip this and send it to Norvell's email right after this and see what we get back from him.
I mean, such a classy guy, but probably inside his head, he's saying, yeah, fuck you, guy. Shut up. Like, it's my time.
Maybe there could be a strong potential for that. There could be a potential.
Yeah, but, I mean, it is what it is. That's why I hate when fans get on coaches, what's going on in there. And, like, there's a few plays, like, from the Cowboys last freaking game. Like, I was like, what the hell? But, like, at the end of the day, like, you don't know, like, what goes on inside the building. You don't know. It could have looked really good on the board. You could have had some solid evidence on breakdowns, and you're like, we need to run this play. It's like you don't know. So, like, don't ever criticize a coach if you're not actually inside of the building, know what's going on. Now, if there's some time management stuff, I get it. But also remember they're humans, just like the refs too. Great catch, though, on this flag route. Then they come really just drop your nuts on the table. Hey, here I am. Eat shit. We're going to run a 2-point freaking play right here. It's just unbelievable. So what they do is they get 2 dudes in a bind right here. These 2. They're both going for the quarterback. There is nobody accounting for him slipping across here. He's trying to clear it out, probably get into the back pylon. He's trying to clear it out into the flat. He's probably lead blocking. I used to have a fake punt kind of set up like this. I had somebody running the flag. I had somebody running another guy off, and I had a dude slipping across because nobody accounted for him. So right here, and then you would have a lead blocker. If these guys both go for the quarterback or whoever, 19, is that one of the holders? So right here,
that's Rector, tight
yeah,
end. Yep.
he's going for him, both of these guys. So why not toss it to him? Now, if somebody would have some common ass sense by Oklahoma and bank on there, now he's probably got to go to the flag, to the back pylon, because right now there ain't nobody else open. So basically, he caught Oklahoma slipping. It was a great job by them. Gutsy call, crucial point in the game, kind of early still, a little bit in the second quarter. I mean, that's big boy shit right there. And like that's why you're the Florida State head coach. And think about Coach Bowden. Like, that dude had bigger nuts than anybody, and he had Jesus on his side, right? So, like, why not call it fake? Why not run a 2-point conversion? Like, screw it.
Yep, drop your sack. And Wyatt Rector played quarterback, and then flipped over to tight end, and then now is a true freshman tight end with Brian Courtney, who a lot of we're hearing really good things about Brian Courtney, and we watch him in practice and such. But as a true freshman, comes down and grabs that ball.
It's unbelievable. I'm sure they practiced it all week, and like that feeling before a fake's about to happen, as a coach, as a player, you got that feeling like, when you got in trouble in school back in the day, and you're coming home, you're like, "Fuck, my dad's gonna whoop my ass." Like, you get that anxiety, like it's coming. Like, you're like, "All right, I gotta do this. I gotta make it through it." Like, that's that pit in your stomach. That's the feeling you get as a player before some of these fakes. But then, as soon as the ball snapped, you're locked in. You practice it hundreds of times throughout the week, and you're ready to go. But
how many more do you want to do? Because I think we're at the hour and a half mark now. I told you 8:45, and I did not hold on to my.
Damn. Yeah, my bad, dude. If we just need to sit and talk and answer questions, or I can keep going. I got stuff for days. I mean, we're still in the second quarter, so that's on me. And obviously starting late, and when the screen was black, so like we thought, nobody wants to watch a black screen.
We thought tonight we were in trouble. We thought we were gonna have to reschedule this and do everything. But I do want to get at least a couple more, at least some important plays that you think at least the viewers would like to see. Because I know if it goes over 2 hours and start losing viewers, whatnot. But any last couple of plays that you would like to throw on here that you think would be pivotal for the viewers to watch?
Yeah, I
broke down.
As I was pretty good look. So this is a funky front. Let me show it to you. This is a funky front that Oklahoma was running all night, and they did multiple things out of it. And every time they got in this thing, like Dan Orvosky or whatever, he's drawing this guy blitzing. They always do the opposite. That happens to us. I mean, I know everybody hates Tony Romo right now, but that happens to him too. Like, he's seen so much ball, and so has Dan. Like, you've seen this is a staple in the NFL, this front right here. It's called an overload. So what an overload is, you got a nose guard, you got a defensive tackle, you got an end standing up, and you got an end, and then you got a backer. So this is like the third down speed package, third down personnel package. There's so many different things that can happen out of this. And post snap is the reason why I say that, because you snap the ball, you got guys moving here. They're all gapped out, right? When I'm watching a defense, I like to watch, okay, when I snap the ball post snap, what are they moving, slanting, or blitzing to? Is it a 4-down front, or is it bear? Is it odd? What is it? So right here, you can see that they're going to bear. And again, bear is the center covered, the guard covered, the other guard covered, and then the ends covered. So they're just possibly going to blitz the bear. Or they could dick with you, cross him over, and he drops out and blitz to a 4-down front. So there's a lot of different variations. And so when I see this, my antennas go up. Borderline PTSD from getting the shit knocked out of me, getting picked off at center from seeing these things. But this is a really good stunt they do. And like they kind of mess with Florida State a little bit, dropping 8. But right here, they're picking the left guard and the left tackle.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So just bear with me. You got this happening. You got this happening. And this guy wrapping over the top. You have all that shit happening at once. And everybody has to be on the same level to pick this up. And I'm not for sure this is a 6-man protection, because if it was, he's in it, right? But do you really need 6 guys to block these 5 guys in the box? No. But he had his head out of his ass too. He knew something was about to get jacked up here, and he ends up staying in. Like right here, these two need to be on the same level. As he's getting here, he's got to stay square, and he's got to keep his right hand up just in case and feel this, because what this end wants you to do at this left tackle spot, he wants you to set flat and set out. So there's that much more space he can go to pick your shoulder. He can bait you with his head and eyes and wrap around, And it's that much quicker. This left guard, Gibbons, will get his hips turned to the sideline. And now they're truly picked, and the guard and the tackle are truly off levels.
Now, is that communicated? When is this being communicated?
So
Like
protection
between
in my
Gibbons and
mind,
Scott?
if I see this and I know they're going to be a 5 down blitz, I'm calling 5 down Gilligan because it's an island, or a 5-man call, or a Cinco. It's all the same shit to me. I'm bilingual, I guess, in football, if you will. So how I would do it, I would just lock them all on. But they want you to do this sometimes too, as well. Lock him, like that. But if they end up twisting and blitzing, you got to be able to pass it off. I've seen some teams go, all right, back, we're going to put you on him for whatever reason, which is dumb because you got 5 guys here in the box. Like, let's get the back out and check downs to potentially hold people underneath, for any deep routes. Right here, what they'll do is they'll protect him, cross block him, get out in the check down, and they'll slide 4 for 3. So in case you get this, you have a guard to possibly pick it up. And then right here, you would have your tackle just locked on the end on the man side. So it's a 6-man protection. You got a slide side and you got a man side. Now, when you get into 5-man protection, say he was supposed to slip out, flare out either way, right? You get into the 5-man protection, you now have a slide side and a dual side. So if he was going to slide over here and they were truly going to treat that like a mic and go over here, this tackle now would be in a bind 1-2. And that's something you don't want to do. But I've been a part of that. A lot of people can do the NFL because you pay them guys, millions of dollars to do it. Just in case you want to help out another guy, say your center sucks and you need the guard sliding with the backside shoulder of him to help him out, you could always do that. But right here, what they end up doing is I think they just go 5-man. They set out for him. He sets out for him. He sets out for him. And here and here. But again, they end up twisting us up so much, we get on 2 different levels, and it makes it tough to pick up. And this is one of those many twist and blitzes I think about. See right there, Gibbons is totally out of whack. Robert Scott out of whack. You can see his base right here. You don't ever want to get caught like this. You're crossed over. You know what I mean? Like, Timber, you're going down, brother. It's tough. This is why we end up getting sacked right here. It's a great scheme. It's a great job. Later in the game, they show the same front, but they end up dropping that Will linebacker out. But I would say, the offensive line did a pretty good job all night of picking up anything they threw at them blitz-wise. And I think our defense did a great job of scheming them up. I thought at times it could have wrapped up better. Just tackling, again, it's not a thing that's really – it's just ever evolving and changing. It makes it tough on coaches with the legal hits and things like that. You can't quite teach the tackling like they used to. So I think it's lacked there a little bit. It's not anybody's fault. It's just kind of how it's gone because of rules. But, yeah, it was a great game by the O-line. It was one up front. And I'm looking forward. I know they got to replace, obviously, Dimitri Emmanuel because I think he's done right.
Well, the funny thing is they're working on a waiver for him, which would be
hell
huge
yeah,
to
dude.
have
Come on
him
back, man. Make Tallahassee your home, brother.
Yeah, working on a waiver there. He's been spotted in a lot of the promo videos whenever they did the 2023 schedule release. He was in a few of those videos, and hearing some good signs, at least internally and inside FSU's program, that they'll get a waiver for him for this next season. So
this is one of those examples right here, too. Like a guy, we could have made the tackle here. We got him schematically screwed. We got 2 guys in one gap. You see him wrapping over the top. We're just not in position to make a tackle. We're trying to make arm tackles. It just is what it is, and that you just got to take time out of your day and practice and work on it. But sometimes I'm like, how can you be right if you're a defender? And that's what a lot of coaches are battling right now. So, and there's a lot of this too. Oklahoma on 3rd downs. I know this is 1st and 10, but they were running the same play, just a quick outside zone, sealing people up, getting 5-man boxes with FIB formations, get a bunch of dudes to one side of the field and just sealing the box up like this. It doesn't help either that Jared Verse right here twists us around in the A gap and we don't get much on the edge.
Nope.
And now we're one-on-one with the safety. That's a bitch.
Yeah.
That's a real bitch.
Nope.
And then, you shoot your gaps, you try to get upfield. And just a lot of runs on 3rd down because they see an empty box and guys shooting. Look, you got a 5-man box here, right? 4 down linebacker. You put 3 guys split out there. Got another dude split out there. You got your safeties all the way out there. And you got another backer or a nickel, whoever you want to call them. But it was good scheme by Oklahoma. And, good job to the Florida State staff, man. I bet they appreciate the fact that they got a few weeks to sit around and really just dissect the whole season and scheme up a few things and put some window dressing on some things to really put them in some predicaments and obviously pull away at the end. But I could keep going. I know we got to get rolling, so it's getting late.
Yeah, no, I think this has been phenomenal analysis. I'm seeing all the comments in here. John saying that we need a part 2 tomorrow, guys.
Dude, I'll do this whenever, man. I'm home all the time. But yeah, sorry we only got to the freaking end of the first half.
I think, well, the thing is, like we said, we're going to be learning quite a bit while we go through this show of what's going to work, what's not going to work. And I think we've been able to see that we're not going to be able to do these in an hour. We'll definitely have to do at least an hour and a half minimum. But when
I got to get me a water jug, man. I got freaking cotton mouth during this damn scotch.
I was about to say,
let me tell you something.
You need a fucking goddamn Gatorade dispenser in there in your room, man.
Dude, I appreciate you having me on. This has been awesome. Like, I'm so thankful for the opportunity just to talk football because I love football. And like, my wife will even say, like, if you're not involved with football, you're not happy. And I got to be a part of it somehow, some way. And right now, you're giving me that opportunity, man. I can't thank you enough. And I can't wait to get to Tallahassee at some point and buy you a beer and go to the old stomping grounds. We'll try to stay out of Ken's, man. Does that place still smell like fucking Sperry's?
Yeah,
Sperry's,
no,
old ass moldy beer.
That's nasty. That was my freshman sophomore year. It's definitely still around, but I have not.
Madison Social's the spot now, right?
College Town. Yeah, I'm a big township guy. I enjoy township college. I'm older now. Now that's getting to be a little bit too older for me, to be honest with you, Brian. So that means that you're just getting older on us too.
Yeah,
I know.
I feel it. That's for sure. I'm old in dog years, but yeah, I want to come back sometime and check out what's going on in Tallahassee and hopefully get down there this spring. I don't know. We'll see. But
yeah,
appreciate
man.
Everybody being on here tonight, man. This is awesome, and hopefully we can just connect Florida State fans to what's actually going on and really let everybody know if they don't know already that we're in good hands as far as staff goes.
Hunter, I think so too, and we'll have a lot more discussions about this too with Mike Norvell and moving forward, and we'll go jump into some recruiting. I believe our next episode will be that 2013 game against Clemson when we all were up in Death Valley that we'll be doing a deep dive into, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't think it will be too hard, but hopefully get some guests on with us during that to kind of get some thoughts and analysis on their side of things and maybe get a defensive guy in here to give us a rundown. Exactly. Time to hit the DMs and hit some text messages. And then the third episode will be our 2023 signees look at some of these recruits. And we'll get Dustin Lewis, our editor-in-chief at NoleGameDay.com, and our recruiting guy to come in here and give his thoughts.
Are we going to go with transfers or what?
I think we're going to do a mix of both. We're going to do some freshmen, also do some transfers. Definitely want to talk about Jaheim Bell. I'd like to throw in some Kyle Morlock, 2 tight ends that I think you'd give some great thoughts on and analysis. So I think tonight this was fucking awesome. Like we get this. I'm just sitting back. I'm learning. I think the chat is the same way too. Kind of just getting smarter in the way we look at film and like understanding whose jobs. And there's so many assignments, and it goes to show too how much studying these players have to do. Man, it is unbelievable. And so major respect. I think it gives more respect from the consumer side, the fans that are in the stands, getting to see you go through and give the rundown, man. It just goes to show these guys got full-time school going on, and then they've got practice, and then they've got even more hours of film to watch. So
it's not. Why don't you redshirt, man? Like take that extra year and like have that true fall of just like not doing shit except training room film and going to your class once a week. Like take advantage. I get you got to go make money, but hell, I'm like, was it Billy Madison? Stay in school as long as you can.
Yep.
Yeah, why not? That's how it is, man. Stay as long. By the way, Jared Verse, right, coming back, so that's awesome.
Yeah, that is going to be fun, and we're going to talk a lot about him throughout this next year. Jared Verse, absolute menace. I don't know how FSU and we got NIL now. That's the only way this happened, but have him for another year, I think, is criminal to the rest of the ACC.
Played in the wrong fucking era, dude. Holy shit! All I ever got was free beer, and thank you to all those bartenders out there that helped me. I really appreciate it.
They cannot. Yep. But yeah, like John's saying in the comments here before we get off of here, this next episode will be the 2013 game from the guys, and Brian going through that from that game up in Death Valley. So we'll go through that. We don't have an official date on when we'll be doing that episode. These won't be like a weekly type thing, but whenever schedules fit best and feel like it's the right time to hop on here and spend a couple hours talking some Florida State football and a little bit of throwbacks of some games, we will hop on here. But this was a really fun episode to start off the show of Calculated Chaos with Brian Stork, presented by NoleGameDay.com. Appreciate you, Brian, for all of your time and also putting together all this film. I wish we had more time to go through all of it,
I might just start posting something on Twitter a little bit from
Do it.
Here and there. And
I've got a whole time. I got a list of timestamps that I'll be also sharing on my end. So make sure you guys go follow Brian on Twitter. I've been retweeting all throughout the night, so go find his Twitter, follow that, and we're got a lot of episodes coming your way, including once we get to the season. These will be phenomenal because we'll be trying to do these on Monday nights, just a couple days after the games. And like we've been talking about, this should be an exciting year for Florida State, 10 years after Florida State won their national championship in 2013. So, Brian, appreciate you, man. This was a phenomenal experience.
Everybody back home that have to count sheep to go to sleep at night, if you're a true Seminole, you count Tommy Hawks before you go to bed at night. One by one, they just go right across your brain, just flying across like a true Seminole, man. So everybody have a great night.
Yep. Good night, guys. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.